Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I have the esteemed privilege of introducing you and interviewing the man, the one, Brian Taylor. He's the man. Brian, tell me. A lot, actually, but right now, I want to know about you. Tell me your story.
So I'm an author living in Denver, Colorado. Author is one of my many titles. I do a lot of things. Author, athlete. I own a parkour gym. I've done parkour for a long time. Come from a really chaotic and crazy background. The abusive BS home that turned into me being the dumbass throughout my 20s, and then now I'm a family man, and I'm a creative person above anything else, and I've had this story just kind of brewing in my head for a while. So that's kind of what has gotten us to this interview, this thing right here, and I wrote a book called 12 Blackened Petals. And it's the Gospel of Sam, who's our main character, our protagonist, and we follow him on a nice little ride. Yeah, it's a good story. It's a lot of fun. So that's who I am, and that's I guess what has brought us to this interview.
Yeah. Well, I know you said it's been rolling around in your head a little while. So why did you finally decide to write the story?
Because I am an artist, and I tried to draw this story. I tried to actually literally draw out the comic pages, and I got like 9 pages in, and it only took me 4 months to do it. So that was way too long, and I wasn't satisfied with the art that I was producing. So I set it down. I put the story away for a while, and then it just kept rolling around, and I said, I'm going to tell this story no matter what, because it won't leave me the fuck alone. It's just there all the time. So I decided to write it because I can jam out 10 pages way faster than I can draw one. So hopefully somebody that's awesome will pick it up, turn it into a comic book. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah.
For the record, too, I know he said it a couple times. I want to reiterate it. This man is an artist. You can draw. I've seen a couple things, and it's amazing. Very, very inspiring. But yeah. So what is this story about?
So the story. If you're just wanting to hear the basic overview, the story is about a guy named Sam Rittenhouse, and he, through a turn of events, winds up with a buddy of his stealing this flower, and it's a very special flower, and he makes a blood bond with the flower, which means his blood gets on the flower, and it begins to turn him into a god, and not just a god, the god. So he is a replacement for our current god. So we follow Sam as he goes through these chaotic steps of becoming God, but it's not a pretty process. The only way he can accelerate and go to that next level is to die. So his first few deaths are very fast and rapid, whereas the previous gods before him, it happened slowly over the course of 1,000 years, right? They would grow old, they would die, or they would get hunted down by mobs of people that would stab them with swords while the swords still worked. But Sam dies 3 times in the first 48 hours, and that brings about a certain amount of chaos. The flower makes Sam duplicate to the maximum potential. So, for example, it doubles everything about him that could be. For most humans can only lift certain amounts of weight. The most we've ever recorded is 6,000 pounds, right? One human lifting 6,000 pounds. Well, the first time Sam comes back, he can lift 12,000, like it's nobody's business, right? He can see twice as far as the best human has ever seen. He can hear twice as much as the best human has ever heard. He can run faster than the fastest human has ever ran. So it's a compounding process. Think about the analogy: would you rather have $1 million or a penny that doubles every day, right? Yeah. So it's that exponential growth, and it follows him through that. The underlining method, or the underlining story, is one of redemption. Sam comes from a very broken background, very broken background. He's a broken individual, and he doesn't understand. He understands right and wrong, but he's attached to this thing, which I can't really tell you till you read the book. He's attached to this thing that makes him be evil, and so it's a story of redemption. You know, it's his process of going from being the evil of all evils to being the most magnificent of all nighties. So yeah, that's what it's about.
Well, you know, broken homes, evil, being stupid, magnificent. So, how many pieces of you are in this book?
Well, I don't know about the magnificent part, but there's a lot of me in this book in various fashions. So there's certainly a lot of me and Sam.
Yeah.
It was good fuel to write that character, and ultimately my background really played into the development of that character and the concept. There's also pieces of me in some of the sarcasm of other characters. I can be sarcastic. I try to be
Sarcastic?
I don't know what you're talking about. Shut up. But yeah, so there's pieces of me in the story all over the place.
Nice. So let's see. What about motivation? People always talk about what's my motivation. What was your real motivation in writing this?
So to get the story out was the main motivation. But I'm profoundly driven by music. Profoundly driven by music. There is no music that can come into my ears that doesn't create an image in my head.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the artist part of me. And so there are several pieces of music throughout my life that have generated the most powerful images. And those images always seem to tie back into this story for some reason. So music is what motivates me. And even throughout the book, when you're reading it, some chapters actually start off with quotes from songs. And if you go and you read the chapter and then you follow that quote to a song and you listen to that song, they fit really well. Not you know, hitting on beat or anything like that, but the overall concept,
Yeah.
and the strength and the power of the song fits with the strength and the power of the chapter.
Man, does my Friday song have like a moment in the book?
It will.
Sam, check it out. So is this book part of a series, or it is?
Yeah, it is definitely part of a series.
Yeah.
So, the Gospel of Sam has 5 books in it, but because of the way that I just drop you in the middle of the overall story, so there's the Gospel of Sam with 5 books. There will be the Gospel of Michael, who's another character in the book, and that could have 4, 5, 6 stories in it. And the way the story is built, there is a ton of potential to have a lot of offshooting storylines.
Nice. So, how big is this universe?
How big is our universe?
Yeah.
Because this literally takes place in the universe that we know, that we occupy. It is using mythological characters from our past, so the current God, as Christianity and Islam and things like that refer to him. And then there is previous gods before that. So there's Ra, the Egyptian god, and then there's Sam now, so who's the new god. And this could go on in perpetuity. Yeah, it just keep going. So it's a huge universe.
So for those who
wait before you go, and just a quick hint: if it's happening here,
yeah,
it could be happening somewhere else too. Just a quick hint.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What about for those who have read the first book? What's in store for the next one?
So spoilers. So the first book, the Gospel of Sam, book 1, I punished the hell out of Sam. I really, really beat the crap out of Sam. I put him through some hard times. In book 2, there's a lot of redemption that happens for Sam. He gets to meet some new, I guess you could say, members of his posse, his team, his crew. Every story of God, there are a lot of people that work with God to make that particular God, whether it's an Arabic, Muslim God, whether it's a Christian God, whether it's any of the Greek gods, any of that. There's always these people that work in with the story. So there's more people being introduced in the story, and there's a miracle coming. There's a miracle coming.
It's a miracle.
Yeah.
A miracle. I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. So what about this? Where can people find you? Where can people see this miracle happen?
So you can always find me at 12blackenedpetals.com. That's 12blackenedpetals.com. It'll be in the links. I'm sure we'll get it taken care of. You can find me on Facebook, Brian Taylor. You can also look up Sam Rittenhouse. He's got his own page. You can find 12 Blackened Petals on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Pinterest. You can find me on my personal blogging site, which is briansdailygrind.com. And if you are a YouTube fan, I run a vlog there. So I'm constantly just putting my face on camera.
So we can find you, is what you're saying.
Pretty much, I'm everywhere.
little bit of effort.
Yeah, it won't take much.
Not a lot,
Just a little bit. It won't take
Start.
much.
Google do most of the work, huh?
Yeah, Google will do most of it for
Brian
you.
Staley, gotcha. Brian Staley, gotcha.
Yeah.
Try it. See what happens. Brian, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Of course.
It's my hero. Like with a cape.
With a cape?
No cape.
No capes.
No capes.
No capes.